Stand.
Okay, doctor, reminding you of the oath that you previously sworn, be prepared to testify. You're under oath. Counsel, when you're ready.
Dr. Dunn, what are your qualifications to speak to us about fungi today?
I have a biology degree from UC Davis and a PhD from UC Berkeley in microbiology with a specialization in mycology.
Do you have any more hands-on experience with fungi?
Yes, I've been teaching plant biology. Was that what I wanted to?
No, sort of foraging classes.
Oh,
Be specific. I mean, understanding you have your
Oh,
links,
okay.
but for this, like, specific, what about foraging classes?
Okay, I can say it like that?
You can absolutely ask.
Okay.
What experience do you have teaching foraging classes? That's what you wanna know, right?
Yeah?
And we got time limits. Let's get to it.
okay.
What do you know about, I mean, this isn't an indictment on you, trust me. Just, it's okay. You don't have to be nervous about it.
Okay. Do I just ask that?
Ask it.
Well, what experience do you have in terms of foraging classes, Dr. Dunn?
I am a frequent guest speaker at the UC Botanical Garden at Berkeley and Forage Santa Cruz, an organization that offers foraging classes to the general public.
And I'd like to ask you today, what are heartstopper mushrooms?
Heartstopper mushrooms are very poisonous mushrooms, highly toxic, and they can be difficult to identify by as there are many similar growing mushrooms in Ammonite.
Objection. Narrative.
You made your point.
Objections overruled. Continue.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Please.
Dr. Dunn, I am showing you what has been labeled Exhibit D. Do you recognize it?
Yes.
Could you tell the court today what Exhibit D represents?
It is an image of a heartstopper mushroom and butter mushroom side by side.
And could you point out which mushroom is the heartstopper and which one is the butter?
Heartstopper mushroom is the bottom mushroom, and butter mushroom is the little top mushroom.
And would you say Exhibit D fairly and accurately represents the butter and heartstopper mushroom?
Yes.
Your Honor, the defense moves that Exhibit D be received into evidence.
Is there any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Objection will be received.
Dr. Dunn, could you point out some of the similarities between the two mushrooms?
There are two similarities. One is that they both have white gills, the most obvious one is that they both have a white cap. Now, normally butter mushrooms have a beige or apricot cap. However, they can also have a white base, making it similar to the heartstopper mushroom. And also, they have white gills. Gills are the little lines underneath the cap, and yeah, they both have that.
And could you also point out what some of the differences between the two mushrooms are?
There are two differences. One of them is the most obvious, and that is the little ring at the middle of the stem of the butter mushroom, which is an annulus. Butter mushrooms have a true annulus, while heartstopper mushrooms do not have an annulus. And I don't know. Well, it's not really very obvious right here, but also butter mushrooms have striations, which are lines at the rim of the cap, and heartstopper mushrooms often do not have striations, but they can develop striations over time.
So are the differences between the two mushrooms significant?
They're not very significant, especially, I guess the one that's most obvious is the annulus, but even then, sometimes a heartstopper mushroom can mistakenly look like it has an annulus because
And as for foraging for mushrooms, are foragers looking at them from this perspective as shown in Exhibit D?
No, they're looking from the top down, so just the cap.
And from the top down, is it as simple to spot the differences as it may appear in Exhibit D?
No, especially if the butter mushroom is a white face, which looks exactly like a heartstopper mushroom.
Dr. Dunn, I'd like to ask you a few questions about how mushroom spores travel. Could you explain how they do that for the court, please?
So spores they leave the gills from the bottom of the cap, and then they either fall to the ground or they become airborne.
And would you say you were familiar with Artemis Grove?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am.
Are the poisonous and edible mushrooms grown separately in the park?
No, they can be grown in the same place, like under a tree.
No further questions, Your Honor, thank you.
Can I ask for one?
Yeah.
So, you did a good job, but I think like an effective way to be like, now, these are difficult to tell apart, right? How long have you been looking at these mushrooms? Like, over the course of your career? And is it still difficult for you to tell the difference?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so a novice, someone who's never done it before, and then you can just be like, how would they do it? And then you'll get an objection, but, all right, we'll withdraw that, we'll move on, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but think about something like that, because she's gonna tell you, like, these things look really similar, blah, 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 and then like, as you get like, you build up how similar they look, and then you're like, wait, but you've been doing this forever. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's still hard for me to tell, right? Okay, good, and obviously you've got much more experience. Or then you could say, so a novice would have a real tough time. Objection, speculation, all right, sustain. How about I ask it this way? How much time would a novice have to look at this stuff? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if someone who's never done it before,
Yeah.
and then, but you've made your point, right? And then I think that's much more effective, especially with, and then, okay, then let's talk